If y'all new to the channel, can y'all please hit that subscribe button, man? We are 40 subscribers away from 50,000. So if you enjoying this, please hit that subscribe button. Help me, please, help me, please. We are almost at 50,000. And as you see from the bottom right-hand side, we are almost 40 members, 40 subscribers away, man. So let's see if we can hit that 50,000 number today. So if you're enjoying this, please hit that. Just take 1 second. Just scroll on up, hit that subscribe button, and continue watching. And hit that like button. All right. Appreciate you. Let's get it.
And bombastic pyrotechnics. The label was thriving off Biggie's legacy and bolstered by rising stars Maze, Shine, and Black Rob. Combs won Grammys and was nominated for his work with outside artists Mariah Carey and R. Kelly. He entered the upper echelon of New York society, partying with Revlon's billionaire Ron Perlman and Donald Trump. There was a certain narcissism, an attitude of objectifying not just women, but all people, and wanting to be with other men who enjoyed moving people around like chess pieces. Turner says of Combs, adding that he was the standard bearer for hip-hop as capitalism and a social mobility play. Becoming a dominant force in the industry only seemed to amplify Combs' bullying behavior. In April 1999, he barged into the office of Interscope record executive Steve Stout and allegedly turned violent. Combs was furious that Stout didn't cut him from a crucifixion scene in a Nas music video before sending it to MTV. He punched me in the face and then he grabbed the phone and bashed me in the head with it. Stout recounted to the LA Times. Combs privately settled with Stout, reportedly for $500,000, and dodged a 7-year prison sentence by pleading to a reduced charge of harassment. That summer, Combs released his second album, Forever. The album's critical and commercial failure. It sold less than half what its predecessor did, hardly diminished Combs' star power. A few months later,
1999. I was 15. Yeah, I don't remember this shit. Yeah. This is my first time hearing about this. Yeah, I was 15, 1999. Yeah, 15. Yeah, I don't remember none of this shit. Yeah, I don't remember none of this shit. Damn.
Later in December, Combs was arrested after a nightclub shooting in which 3 people were injured. His newest star, Shine, aka Jamal Michael Barrow,
I remember this. Yeah, I remember that.
was convicted of firing the shots and sentenced to 10 years. Barrow was deported to Belize upon his 2009 release. Combs, meanwhile, was charged with weapon possession and attempted bribery after he and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez fled the scene in a Lincoln Navigator that reportedly ran 11 red lights. Combs was facing up to 15 years in prison if convicted. Kevin Rogers Francis, a host at Combs' restaurant Justin's, who did marketing work for Combs' short-lived magazine Notorious, recalls the mogul scrambling for money, shuttering the magazine, and hitting the restaurant drawers for cash in what Francis presumed was an effort to cover hefty legal bills. The prosecutor claimed Combs offered cash to witnesses after some said Combs was the shooter. Victim Natania Rubin has been adamant that Combs fired the bullet that tore through her nose. Combs' own driver testified that Combs offered him $50,000 using a $40,000 pinky ring as collateral if he would say he owned the unlicensed gun found in the SUV. Others
Now, all of this stuff, I'm just hearing about this now. Now, I've been seeing videos and stuff like that. Just all this stuff that I'm hearing, this is new information to me. This part right here, I'm just learning about this like last week. Damn, Diddy. Damn. Now, of course, the shooting, everybody knows about the shooting. J-Lo, Shine, everybody knows about that. But all these little intricate details right here, you know, all these alleged details right here. Interesting. And the lady that said that she got shot by Diddy, I seen a video of that maybe like last month or something like that. So all this information I'm hearing, I'm learning about this as, you know, in current time. I didn't know about none of this when it was actually happening. So this is information, new information for me.
claimed Combs paid as much as $1 million to Barrow through an intermediary to buy his silence. Barrow denies the claim to Rolling Stones, calling it ridiculous misinformation. After a 6-week trial, Combs was acquitted in March 2001. With his mounting scandals, a tabloid relationship with Lopez, and the popularity of his Sean John clothing line, which launched in 1998, Combs entered the pop culture stratosphere. It became a point of pride to work for Bad Boy, says former employee Flash Rodriguez. It wasn't just a company, it was a lifestyle. But Combs was difficult to work for. Employees who wanted to stick around had to learn how to speak puppy. Brookshire and multiple sources say. A demanding boss, Combs often yelled to get his point across and fired employees on a whim. No one on his team at Bad Boy spoke back to him. Former Daddy's House studio manager Newsom says no one challenged him. Another source recalls Mace, whose real name is Mason Betha, calling Combs massa behind his back. Betha did not reply to any request for comment. He was so volatile, said a source who sometimes worked with Bad Boy. He's always on the edge of snapping and being scary. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces, and Puppy exploited people's desires to be in the...
I can believe that. I can believe everything that's on the screen right now. I believe it. I believe it.
Environment. After Combs' acquittal in the nightclub shooting in 2001, he reportedly headed straight to church. He later made a less God-fearing visit to the Peninsula Hotel, where he was throwing a massive bash to celebrate the verdict. It was there that Anna, a freelance graphic designer working with Bad Boy's marketing team, says Combs approached her and began to massage her shoulders. The woman requested a pseudonym, citing fear of retribution. "I'm getting touched on my shoulder, my arms, my back." He's like, "Oh yeah, you like that? I know you like that." Like really, really gross, Anna recalls. Sharing her story publicly for the first time, "I was like, no, not so much, and I sort of floated my way out of there." Anna said she avoided Combs the rest of the night. Weeks later, her boss's girlfriend confided that Combs allegedly approached the boss that night of the party to solicit me for sex, Anna says. A friend confirmed to Rolling Stone that Anna told her about both the encounter and the proposed arrangement when they began working together a few years later. The boss did not return Rolling Stone's request for an interview, and the girlfriend declined to speak. "I felt quite unsettled about this for many years. When people asked about my days at Bad Boy, it just overshadowed by his crap," Anna says, adding that Combs treated her as though she existed to accommodate his whims. Combs often flaunted his sexual encounters, even if underage artists were around to see. A teenage Usher briefly lived at Combs' New York house in the early 90s as a young Bad Boy protege. "Puff introduced me to a totally different set of shit, sex specifically," Usher recalled to Rolling Stone in 2004. "There were always girls around. You'd open a door and you see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen."
I made a video about that. Usher saying that, he was at them parties as a young boy. As a young boy, Usher was at them parties, so I can only imagine, boy. Diddy, boy, it's a special place for you, man. I think Diddy going down, man. I don't see how he's going to escape this. I truly don't see how he's going to escape this. I think this might be one of the biggest. This is definitely going to be one of the biggest stories, if not in entertainment, definitely in hip hop. If he gets convicted and actually go to jail with some of these charges, especially with Tupac and Biggie, right? If they tie him with Tupac and Biggie's death, not to mention all these other, sexual assault cases, like this is going to be, whew, this is freaking huge. Pause. No Diddy. This is crazy.
Casey Sheridan, a member of the teenage girl band Dream, recalls the group being summoned for a meeting with Combs to a Beverly Hills hotel bungalow when she was 15 and awkwardly eyeing a purse and a pair of...
How is Diddy going down? Shit, I don't know. That ain't my job to figure out. All right. I'm sure they doing their job. Hey, I don't work for the FBI. I don't work for Homeland Security. I have no idea. I said if, right? If he is guilty and if they convict him, whew.
of heels by the front door as the group waited. After 20 minutes, a bathrobe Combs emerged from a nearby room. "It's like you can't even keep our innocence. I'm 15 walking into the situation knowing exactly what he was doing next door," Sheridan says. Feeding off his fame and power, Combs appeared to be pushing his most sickening impulses even further. Model Crystal McKinney was photographed during a star-studded Sean John fashion show February 2003. Hours later, according to her recent lawsuit, Combs said she was acting too uptight and pressured her to take a hit from a lace joint. She alleges he then forced her to perform oral sex on him despite her resistance. The night sent McKinney into a tailspin of anxiety and depression that she says resulted in a suicide attempt.
Now, we all know about this because I think this current person is suing Diddy right now, right?
"I had a whole future in modeling mapped out that was stolen from me. Being sexually assaulted and having no recourse is so painful," McKinney tells Rolling Stone.
Yeah, this is one of the recent lawsuits that he's facing right now. So we are all familiar with this right here.
I felt like I was dying every day because I did not have yet the strength to come forward. I hope that by speaking out, I can help other survivors come forward and seek justice. Not long after, between the spring and fall of 2003, a 17-year-old girl was out one night with friends at a Detroit area lounge when a man in a suit approached and allegedly introduced himself as Combs' best friend. The man purportedly calls Combs and lets the girl speak directly with the famed producer, who was twice her age. The man, alleged to be former Bad Boy president Harv Pierre, convinced the girl to board a private jet and take a 2-hour flight to Teterboro, New Jersey, just outside New York City, to meet Combs in person, according to the lawsuit filed last December by the girl, now an adult Jane Doe plaintiff. Then a high school junior, she was awestruck by the opportunity, documenting the trip with photos from inside Daddy's house, where she's seen pretending to record a song, pointing at Combs' initials on the wall and sitting on Combs' lap. The photos were included in the lawsuit to corroborate the woman's allegations that she was gang-r'd that night by Pierre, Combs, and a third unidentified man inside the recording studio. The woman claimed the man plied her with drugs and alcohol until she was nearly unconscious and unable to consent.
And that seems to be their go-to, right? Alcohol, drugs, which is all, is what they do, not only in hip hop, but just in entertainment altogether, right? The whole entertainment field, actors, models, anyone that's any type of, you can be a model, actor, producer, hip hop, country, rock and roll. It don't matter, they all indulge in this drugs, alcohol, and sex stuff. So this is not far-fetched. This is not far-fetched. Do you think he did it? Yeah. Yeah, I think he did. I don't know if he did all of it, but I'm sure he has dibbled and dabbled in some of this shit. Now, all of it, I don't know. But yeah, I think, if you want my opinion, I don't know if he's guilty of everything, but he did a lot of this shit, in my opinion. Do I have proof? Hell no, I don't got proof. I can only go off of what I think. And I think, yeah, he's definitely guilty of some of these things, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But, my opinion means nothing. But I definitely think he's behind a lot of this shit, in my opinion.
Started to black out, she claims. Combs led her to the bathroom, where he removed her skirt and underwear and penetrated her from behind. As she drifted in and out, the unnamed assailant replaced Combs and r'd her from behind as Combs watched, she says. The woman alleges Pierre replaced the second man and r'd her too. When the men finished, she fell into a fetal position on the floor in excruciating pain and was later escorted out of the building and flown back to Michigan, she claims. Combs' lawyer filed a motion to dismiss, calling Doe's account a decades-old tale, a baseless claim, an effort to extract an undeserved financial recovery. Pierre did not reply to a request for comment, but previously called the accusation fiction and a desperate attempt for financial gain. Drugs was a consistent part of Combs' life, Ventura alleges in her lawsuit, claiming he was addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. She claims he had pills and other drugs out in the open like candy, and that he would supply alcohol, ecstasy, cocaine, and sedative GHB, ketamine, and marijuana during freak-offs. But
and remember, this is what, in the 90s? Oh yeah, they was definitely, popping pills, taking cocaine, snorting this shit. And yeah, I believe all this stuff. This is a part of the culture, not just hip hop, but rock and roll, heavy metal, country. This is what they do. Money, drugs, and alcohol and sex. So yeah, this is definitely believable. I could believe all this shit. It's not too far-fetched. It's not too far-fetched at all. So yeah, I believe it.
Far from enhancing the party vibe, Ventura and others say the substances only darkened his mood. Once Combs got drunk or high enough, says one frequent party guest in the early 2000s, he would turn violent and loud. He would take his anger out on people. At several points when Combs was extremely intoxicated, Ventura alleges he beat her. An industry source says they once left a party at Combs' home because they felt so uncomfortable watching an aggressive Combs yell at Ventura throughout the night. You can tell in her eyes that she was scared, they said. I'm like, is this normal? Am I tripping right now? Why is nobody saying anything? Are they scared of him? In a 2015 appearance on the Breakfast Club radio show, Combs described the deal he offers his girlfriends. If I'm in a relationship with you, 25% of the time, you're going to just feel like, oh man, I hate being here. This guy cheated on me. He lied on me, Combs explained while sitting.
I just made a video about that because now all these old videos are starting to be played over again. And that's one thing about the internet, boy. The internet will always be undefeated. The internet will always be undefeated because they're gonna pull up old clips, they're gonna pull up old tweets, they're gonna pull up old articles, especially in today's age where you can get information just like that. Yeah, all this stuff is being brought up. All this stuff is being brought up, and it ain't looking good, bro. It ain't looking good.
Next is teenage son Christian. But then there's 75% of the time I'm going to make you feel like the happiest woman in the world. I'm going to be there and support your dreams. I'm going to be there to hold you, listen to you. I'm going to be there for you like your best friend. And I'll promise you'll smile the most. You know who I am. This is what it is.
Now, this sounds like a confession. And a lot of times what rap artists do, they actually tell you what they do and who they are in their raps, right? But this sounds like a confession. He said, if I'm in a relationship with you, 25% of your time, you're just going to be like, oh man, I hate being here. This guy cheated on me. He lied to me. So that 25% includes getting your ass whooped, allegedly, getting your ass DDT from the top rope, taking a whole bunch of pills, whole bunch of drugs, fucking this person, fucking that person, fucking him, his cousin, his brother, sister, him fucking your brother, all this shit. That 25% is you're gonna have to take a lot. That 25% that he talking about is not something to look over. It's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen in that 25%. It's a lot of shit that's gonna happen in that 25%. So basically, right here, he just letting you know, yeah, I'm gonna make your dreams come true, but you're gonna have to do some things that I want you to do. I'll give you your dreams. I will support your dreams. I will make your dreams come true. But what you willing to do for it? I'm just saying. This sounds like a confession to me. Sounds like a confession to me.